this is the first camp I can enjoy myself and be back. My headspace that I'm in now is way better than what I was before, and that's the only thing that mattered to me.
A lot of things out there about the size and all of this stuff, but people forget that Tank's a top 10 pound for pound fighter, and he's got power in both hands. And skill wise and technique wise, he's been doing this for so long.
I feel like Tank has the edge for sure. He's a real fighter, and got skills, high IQ fighter. Regardless of the weight, I've personally seen Tank, spar heavyweight.
Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis is a matchup no one expected. Two stars from different worlds are stepping into the same ring. Both are hungry to prove they are the best fighters, and the hype is real.
You have to understand, I went from doing YouTube and Disney Channel to 5 years, once to twice a day, 6 to 7 days a week, training, recovery, taking it more serious than ever. I'm just a different specimen. My body is filled out. I'm going into my athletic prime and going into that, and my body filling out, I just feel amazing and feel super strong.
Jake Paul has been loud about the training he is going through for the Gervonta Davis fight. He claims he's bringing serious talent into the camp. He proudly mentions that he has dropped people during sparring. He even says Shakur is joining him this week to help him prepare for the Tank showdown. Jake also admits something rarely seen from him. He says Tank is dangerous. People always judge Tank for being the smaller fighter. They point fingers and say he is too tiny to hang with someone like Jake. Jake disagrees with that noise. He openly says Tank's power is real in both hands. He knows Tank hits like a wild truck even at that short height. Jake saying he is scared to step inside that ring is a major statement. It shows how much he respects Tank's knockout power and skill. That fear proves this fight is not a joke that people think it is.
Going into a fight that I've actually ever been, because I know how good these people are that I'm sparring, and being able to see how good they are and knowing how good Tank is, it's actually going to be my toughest test to date.
Yeah, I think, Jake, you could make the argument, right? Pound for pound wise, this guy's the most ferocious dude in the whole sport, couldn't you?
For sure. I think he has probably one of the highest knockout percentages.
Yeah, 90-something%, right?
Exactly. And just his speed, his elusiveness, his ring IQ, his conditioning. He's gone 12 rounds so many different times, something that I've never even done. So he's going to be sharp all the way through. I mean, the list goes on. And so just actually being vulnerable for a second, it's like, this is crazy. This is scary. It's kind of keeping me up at night.
Jake, how do you prepare for, like you said, a guy who is shorter than you? How do you find a sparring opponent to replicate something that obviously, there's nobody else out there that's Tank Davis? How do you prepare for a guy that's different stature-wise?
Yeah, no, we have world champions. Raymond Ford in the 130-pound weight class. We got Montana Lovin. Shakur Stevenson is coming in this week. So just sparring against guys on their level and people who have, been doing this their whole entire lives. But we're really focusing on speed. And not as much on power. I'm not doing as much like weightlifting and all of that stuff. I'm actually trying to lose some muscle so that I have less weight and so that my punches are coming off faster.
Many fans do not know the truth of Tank's journey. From the start of his career, he has sparred with heavyweights, not regular heavyweights either. These were skilled ones. They knew how to handle themselves in the ring. Showbiz, the adult analysts, revealed that Tank not only survived in those sessions, he dominated. He punished those bigger men. If someone like Tank can handle huge fighters in the gym, then a cruiserweight like Jake Paul is not going to shock him. Jake may be bigger, but Tank has already dealt with bigger challenges before. Those sparring stories show Tank is no stranger to a large mountain standing in front of him. The analyst continued by saying those heavyweight sparring partners Tank faced were more technical and experienced than Jake. Jake Paul has improved a lot. He has come from influencer stardom into real boxing. However, he is still learning. He is still developing fundamentals. Tank has been battling high-level talent since his teenage years. If he survived and dominated fighters way heavier and way more skilled than Jake, then Jake's size advantage may not be enough. The powerful storyteller Showbiz made one thing clear. Tank facing Jake is not a mismatch for Tank. It may even be Jake stepping into dangerous territory
or bigger people, like from middleweight to heavyweight. And the thing is, don't be surprised, okay? This is a photo. This is a photo of one of the bigger guys that he was sparring. But in the past, you know, like maybe a few years ago, he was fighting a guy in Mayweather's camp. He was a bigger guy. I think he was like a middleweight or something like that. He was whooping his ass. One time he was like on live whooping a bigger guy's ass. I mean, he's just beating bigger guys like middleweights and stuff. He's done that in sparring forever. Remember this story? I've brought it up a million times and I've showed this clip a million times, but on Ellie Set Back. This story of this guy saying how Gervonta Tank Davis knocked out this heavyweight.
Tell me the story. What happened? Tank, what's the one boy name? No, don't say name. I don't want to embarrass anyone.
Oh, no, you're right.
But tell people what happened.
Man, I was about to spar. Before I was about to spar Tank, he was sparring this big boy.
A heavyweight.
Heavyweight boy. And Tank hit that nigga. He hit him so hard that he was on the top of the rope just like this. And like, I thought he died. Like, I ain't gonna lie to you. I thought he died.
Hey, I've seen him knock out some heavyweights. You might knock all the ass up now.
You knocked out a heavyweight?
Yeah.
How was that?
Because I hit harder than Wilder.
Now, granted, the heavyweights that Gervonta Tank Davis is whooping and sparring is not like, you know, all-time great heavyweights, all right? And it shouldn't be. But he's sparring the heavyweight, the level of heavyweight that, you know, more experienced than Jake Paul, right? But Jake Paul has beaten those heavyweights himself, all right? I'm thinking that is the caliber of heavyweight that Gervonta Tank Davis is sparring, but he's whooping their asses. And that's a good thing. I feel with Jake Paul sparring Raymond Ford, to me, it looked like Raymond Ford got the best of him. It looked like Jake Paul was a little exhausted, and it looked like Raymond Ford wasn't. It looked like Jake Paul was a little disappointed in his performance, and Raymond Ford was trying to give him a pick-me-up. Like, you know, just kind of let them know. No, like, you know, we do this and do that. It just looked like Raymond Ford was in a confident, secure place, more dominant place, the more alpha out the two in the ring. And that's Raymond Ford. That ain't Gervonta Davis. You know, I love Raymond Ford. I have him on my fighters list. But still, I don't think anyone thinks he's as skillful or as powerful as Gervonta Tank Davis.
Tank has decided on his future. He is not returning to 135 lbs. Too many cuts, too much drain. He wants to stay fresh. He wants to stay in a division where his strength is at 100%. The move to 140 lb shows growth in his mindset. He is preparing for bigger names and bigger challenges that includes the Jake Paul fight. Once the showdown ends, Tank plans to continue as a full super lightweight. He thinks he will deliver stronger performances there. He wants to dominate this weight class after proving himself once again on a huge stage. By staying in this weight class, Tank is giving himself a wider world of possibilities. Fans might say the new weight puts him at a disadvantage against Jake because Jake is naturally heavier. Tank sees the opposite. He thinks this is where his body is happiest. His stamina becomes better. His knockout pop becomes even more devastating. When he fought at 135, he would still deliver spectacular knockouts. Now he wants show-stopping power. The new division might make Tank even scarier than he already is. Jake Paul might feel the very first example of this new and improved Tank.
Or had been throwing fits a few weeks ago when Gervonta had announced that he would be fighting Jake Paul in, I believe it's coming up in just about a month, or a little bit less than a month, and that he would not be, at least immediately, he would not be rematching Lamont Roach. So people went all up in arms. Shout out to my guy, Big Dog Willie, who even right now is claiming that Gervonta Davis is going to go try to fight in WWE or something like that when he gets done with Jake Paul. But the truth of the matter is that Gervonta Davis is coming back to boxing. He's always said that he's coming back to boxing. He said he's going to run off, get this bag real quick, and he'll be right back. Well, as you see, the 135-pound WBA, the WBA, where he holds his 135-pound championship, has not stripped him. They said that they were going to look into it if he had not rematched Lamont Roach, but nothing ever really came of that. So as of right now, he still has his 135-pound title. But I'm telling you, the way that things are panning out, I don't think he's going to go back down to the 135-pound division. I think he's going to go to the 140-pound division where really and truly all the smoke is there. Add to it the fact that when he fights Jake Paul, he's going to be fighting Jake Paul at a higher weight than he would necessarily be fighting guys at 135 pounds. You're probably not going to see him drain down for the fight. I don't think he's going to bulk up at all, but usually even when guys play with their weight and they go up and allow themselves to fight at a higher weight or fight people at higher weight classes,